Thanks. I mean, last time I did this, we couldn't figure out the live. So, hello. Okay. Well, this is like not the greatest, but that's okay. I don't think I can zoom in. No, that's all right. All right. We're just gonna.
Is Christine here? Brittany?
So you can move it
Tomorrow?
if you want the screen to be more.
Anna?
As far as what?
Are you recording it for yourself
Julie?
too?
This is live. This is live.
Oh yeah, yeah. But like, so it looks good for yourself later.
Yeah, right. I know. Let me see. Edit. Can we zoom it? No, we can't. Okay, cancel. We're just gonna do this, and we're just gonna go gorilla style. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. So I just put the Rare Beauty Comfort Eye Patches on her right now. She's on tretinoin, so her skin's a little dry, so we're gonna hydrate her. So it's gonna change up my approach a little bit today because I was gonna do a little bit more like a matte, but since she needs her skin needs the love, we're gonna do a lot of hydrating and stuff. What was I gonna say? I was gonna try and jump off what you were saying, but I'm just gonna get started. So
Talk about skin prep?
yes, skin prep, basically, yeah. So thinking about like reading a room, you know, if the bride's nervous, if she's excited. People are always like, do you really enjoy doing bridal? It's like, yeah, everybody's usually in a good mood and everybody wants to party and like everybody's happy to be there. And you were saying about knock on wood. I wanted to tell you, I'm just gonna get started. I'm gonna brush through her brows really quick. I did a wedding this weekend, my first wedding of the year. And the bride was sitting in my chair. I had done her mother, I had done her future mother-in-law, I had done the maid of honor. And she was like, things are going great. Like, what else could go wrong? And I looked at her and I was like, girl. And then I went and I knocked on wood. Her mother fell literally like 15 minutes later. Her mother's fine, thank goodness. She fell down like these short little stairs that they had in the Airbnb. And we think she sprained her wrist, but didn't hit her head. But it was just like literally she said that and then that happened. It's like, don't ever tempt fate, please, especially on a big day like that. I'm just gonna, what I like to do with skin prep, her skin's clean now. Obviously we have the pads, the eye patches here. I'm gonna I like to start with brows. It's essentially how I like to start any makeup, whether it's a bridal glam, whether it's whatever. Because I feel like brows are the frameworks of the face. She has great brows. I have to fake my brows. This is the Got to Be brow gel. I got this in Germany. I was recently in Germany, humble brag. My family's from there, so I went on it was from a family trip, but I'm just gonna take, also something else that I did, highly recommend that Listerine Cool Mint. It's a spray. These are great. I don't really like mints because I just like end up eating them and then I get an upset stomach, or gum upsets my stomach. But this is really great. I love it. It just helps to freshen your breath. So then when you're up close and personal, the thing about mints though is you can always offer your client the mint, especially if their breath is kicking, because that happens a lot too. But I just mostly try to stay concerned about myself. So this is pretty much like first step, and then I've already washed my hands and sanitized everything. Very, very important, as we know. So I'm just going to take and give the brows a groom. Do you do anything with your brows? Okay, I don't really need to. But just brushing those through. I like a big, fat, feathery brow. Not everybody does. Okay, yeah, I do too. Okay, good, great. Great. And then, like I said, I'm doing this before any skincare. I just like to tack down the brow here. Let's see. But yeah. Okay. And I'm going to start with eyes first. And I like to do that for bridal, mostly because you're inevitably going to get some kind of fallout. We want the skin to be flawless. And when you're doing skin prep and things like that, you want the skin prep to kind of go in first. Actually, I realized I didn't do skin prep before I put these on, so I'm going to do it around the pads because I'm realizing, oh, I worked backwards. But I like to do the eyes first, and then if you have any fallout, you can clean that up. You can clean it up with eye cream, whatever. And then by that time, the skin's really happy and ready for the foundation and everything. My personal philosophy is if the skin looks good, everything looks good. Like, it doesn't matter how much time you put into an eye look. If the eye look is like snatched, but the skin looks terrible, it's not going to look good. It's just like the skin's got to look good. And I feel like if the skin looks good, you can really get away with doing less on the rest of the face. That's my opinion. These are the First Aid Radiance pads. Do you think you're going to react to this? Okay. This is just like a really, really light exfoliant. They're really good for sensitive skin. I like to start pretty much every makeup with these because sometimes you'll find you're doing makeup and like the skin will be sloughing off sometimes. And you know, you don't want that to happen. So this is a nice way to kind of get that little bit of exfoliation in before you start, just to maybe help get any dry patches or whatever. I really like these. They're nice and gentle. All right. And then the pads are going to do a really good job of hydrating her under eye, so we don't really need to worry about that area. Plus, this is a nice touch for a bride. Like I did it on my mother of the bride, the mother of the groom, on the maid of honor. Everybody, it's just like a little pampering moment that you can offer. I do this on other clients too, like private clients or even some celebrities and stuff. So it just depends.
For those of you that are estheticians, my friend got married a few weeks ago down in San Diego, and I offered to do makeup, but she declined with wanting me to be a guest, which was actually a very nice treat, to be honest with you. But the makeup artist she found is an esthetician, and one of the add-ons she offers for wedding day makeup is like a 45-minute facial to kind of like relax you before then getting your makeup done. She's not doing anything crazy. There's no like chemical peel or like extractions, but it's a nice little minute where she got to like lay down, do like a nice cleanse, a tone, a serum, a little hot towel. She did like a nice like little face massage, and it kind of just like got the bride sort of like prepped and relaxed and ready for her day. And it was a nice little like, I think she charged an extra like $150 on top of whatever she was paying for makeup, so it's a nice add-on service. So you can do something like short and complimentary to your makeup application, or you can offer like a 45-minute extra treat at an additional service, and then sort of make your day with a bride or your few hours a little bit more worth it for you financially. So there's like options.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just prepping her with the Merit moisturizer. Great skin. This is really nice. They say on the instructions to put this on and immediately put foundation on afterwards. I'm going to put this on her first, and then we'll do the eyes, and then I'll see if she needs another layer of it. This is just kind of a little extra TLC we're going to do now for her skin. So just working that around. You can use hands. I like to use a brush. Sometimes I'll use my fingers, just depends. And then something I always forget in the million years that I've been doing makeup, lip prep. I always forget to prep the lips. And then I'll be in the middle of the makeup and I'll be like, oh, sorry, your lips are really dry. I'm gonna give you some lip balm. This is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. I love this. I get it, I'll go through it, and then I'll run out of it and try something else, and then I always go back to it. I have one of these on my bedside table. I love it. And I keep it in my kit. Also, a lot of the, like if I use the back of my brush sometimes. These are naturally antibacterial, so I'll use, obviously, and then I also have the spatula too. So I always try to, with my creams and stuff, I always make sure to scoop out. And then I've got these alcohol wipes right here, which I know aren't the best for the environment, but they keep me working clean, which is really, really important. So, like,
it's easier to clean as you go,
yeah,
and stay sanitary, than to have a filthy kit and then spend another hour cleaning while they're getting dressed and trying to kick you out, and you're like, no, I don't want to be here for 90 minutes. So like, clean as it goes, and then you can tap out and then be on your way.
Doesn't always happen, especially when you're really busy. If you're working on set or if you're doing like 4 or 5 people for a wedding, a lot of times it just looks like a hurricane. But I do try to at least keep my hands clean, keep my tools clean, and keep the area as clean as I can. This is from Rifa. This is like a little massage tool. This is another thing you can do to just kind of add a little extra TLC to the experience. It's really nice. This has a little, this apparently takes like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like from the sun, light from, and it, like there's a microcurrent in here that you can't really feel. You can't really feel it at all, but they say that it's in there. I'm like, all right, I guess it works. But facial massage is great, you know, like, and then my facialist, since you were talking about facials, my facialist, Despina Scandalis, who is amazing. She's located in North Hollywood if you need a local facialist. I shout her out all the time because I just love her so much. But she says that the best thing is cold, like using cold, like the cold globes or anything like for depuffing and for facial massage. Like if you want to do something really quickly, that is the best thing to do. I have an ice roller that I keep in my freezer that I use because I wake up puffy most of the time these days. But just a little bit of massage, feel okay? So if you were getting married today, what kind of makeup do you think you would want?
Not that you have to do that, but if I were to get married, I'd do a smoky eye.
You do a smoky eye?
'Cause
Let's do
usually
a smoky eye.
So
Yeah, okay. Can we do a little bit of shimmer? Okay, great. For smoky, would you do like black or
I
brown?
do brown.
Okay.
Because I have like
Yeah.
blue eyes.
Yeah.
That's good.
And maybe like a bronzy kind of smoky. Love that. Okay, great. Awesome. So I'm gonna leave this to, I'm gonna sanitize this later. When you're working, you can't always do that. So, all right, let's get started. I'm gonna grab, this is the Tower 28 concealer. I like to prep the eyelid with concealer as opposed to an eye primer. That's just personal preference. I like how a concealer color corrects. I like how it preps the area for makeup. I'm just gonna take it on the back of my clothes. Just gonna sweep that all over the eyelid up to the brow. We're gonna fill in the brows later. I just wanted to brush through them. And another thing that's nice about the eye mask or the eye patches is that you kind of have a guide right here of that outer corner of the eye. Just all over. Stay closed for me. Didn't prep any powder because this is the Hourglass Veil powder right here. Just gonna knock it out on my, if I have any left, there we go, on my palette. Taking a fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna set that. And forgive me if I'm sniffly, I'm fighting allergies right now. It's really fun. Okay, other eye. Okay, same thing. Set it. So then we've created a nice base to create our smoky eye. All right, and then there's a million eyeshadow palettes out there. I feel like as you work, you kind of figure out what works for you. The Tartelette in Bloom is kind of like a ride or die for me. I used it a million years ago when I did bridal back in Chicago, and I picked it up again because it's just like, it's really good, and it's great for pretty much all skin tones. Maybe the shimmers are a little light for super deep skin, but you've got some mattes, you've got some shimmers in here. Another great palette is the Makeup by Mario, the Master Mattes palette. I mean, I love Mario. I love everything he does pretty much just because he's a working artist, so he gets it. And it's great for consumers and it's great for working pros, I think. This is just like, this is definitely a global palette, like warm tones, some neutral tones, and there's a few cool tones in here, but this is great too. So we're just gonna work from those and maybe something else. We'll see. And then like the thing I always recommend for people is to do a trial. So like if you're gonna do a trial with your bride, so then when the day comes, you know what you're doing, and you can just bang it out, and you're not thinking about, okay, I gotta put this here. What about this? Oh, she changed her. It can happen that she might change her mind, but a lot of times they don't. And if they change their mind, they're like, I just want to extend my brow, or I just want to like do a different lip, or I want to do a different cheek. But that's what the trial is for. So you can go step by step and kind of see like what she wants. So I'm just going to take the Master Mattes palette. I'm going to grab fluffy brush. I'm just going to take this. They're not named, so this is just like the number 4 shade. And what I like to do is kind of sculpt first. I like to sculpt the eye and kind of see where we're going to go. So open for me. She has beautiful big blue eyes, so I don't really need to do a lot, but I'm just going to do a little bit of shaping close. And one of the things I like to do is kind of take the shadow on the outer third like this all the way up to the brow. Just kind of buff that in circular motions. And then open for me. And what that does is kind of creates like a shadow on the outer third of the eye. Clean brush. And we're just creating like a foundation for the smoky eye, because you can just put like dark on and buff it out, which is fine. But if you want to kind of, I don't know, elevate it a little bit, this is one of the things I really like to do. Sorry, turn for me. So yeah, just taking that, creating that. This is essentially contouring for the eye. So like how you contour your face, like we're contouring the eye. And you don't have super deep set eyes. I have really deep set eyes, so I need to kind of change the shape of my eye if I want to open them up. Open. Why is it warm in here? Is it me? I'm sweating. Okay, so we're just.
So were you like lights?
Yeah, I mean, well, they're not like, they're not hot. Maybe I'm just crazy. Okay. We're gonna do, actually, no, we're gonna do something else. All right. So I'm gonna take Smarty Pants here from the Tartelette in Bloom palette. And I'm just gonna buff into her crease a bit. And it's okay if it gets onto the lid. You have great eye shape too. I'll tell someone she has great lid space. I've said that before, and people are like, "What?" I'm like, "No, it's a good thing. Trust me." Makes makeup artists very happy. And again, we're just building here, taking Smarty Pants again. Eyes usually take the longest. At least for me, they take the longest. It's always been like not a struggle for me, but just eyes can be challenging because I'm always like trying to figure out how to make them pop. Like wing liner for me is it's not my favorite thing, I'll be honest. I have a friend who can literally do wing liner, like she can do it on a moving bus during an earthquake and it'll look perfect on herself or on anybody else. Do you know Satya?
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend Satya. She like does wing liner every day of her life. It's like she's a magician. Me, I'm like, it takes me 35 minutes to do one eye, really. I won't put you through that, I promise. So I'm gonna, let's grab a little bit of liner. I'm just gonna take, this is the Kajal from Victoria Beckham. It's called Cocoa. It's like a nice warm brown. I'm just gonna, let me see, sharpen this really quick. Oops, put that up in a minute. And then, because I sharpened it, alcohol. Always like to sanitize. Clean it off. Does anyone have any questions? No, I'm doing such a good job. Thank you. Just gonna take this. This is a really soft pencil. And then before it dries, I want to grab a brush and just buff that out. I'm gonna build a smoky eye where it's darkest from the lash line. And then I want to do a little pop of like metallic on the lid. So we've got a little bit of depth at the lash line, and then it kind of goes like gradients up. Open for me. But one of the things I'm doing is I'm creating depth first, and then I'm going to put like lighter, more metallic stuff on top. And that creates a little bit more of a multi-dimensional eye. Tell them I'm not here. And the thing about a smoky eye, especially if you have a bride who's like all about the mirror, she's like, give me a smoky eye, and she checks it every 5 seconds. The thing about a smoky eye is a lot of times it looks not so good until it looks good.
It's like trust the process.
It's like you got to trust the process. I'm always like, and if I can, I'm like, just keep the mirror out of her hands. Just keep it out of her hands if you can, because you will save yourself so much, just a lot of questions, a lot of whatever. But one of my favorite stories to tell about a wedding that I worked, this was like 8 million years ago because I've been doing makeup for so long. I had a bride, it was a country club wedding, it was like a huge bridal party, and I had a friend who was helping me out, she was assisting me. Oh, I was like looking for the cap that was on the pencil, that's great. But she was assisting me, and we drive out there, and we get there, we get set up, and then like everybody comes in, it's like this beautiful country club, lots of wood, you know, and everybody's in their robes, and the bride comes up to me and she's like, Jeannie, you know Jamie on your list? She's no longer with us. And then she turns around and walks away, and I was like, oh my God. And one of the bridesmaids is like, oh no, honey, she's not dead. She's just not here. I was like, oh, okay. Drama. Like, always glad the drama happens like when you're not there. Like the drama has already happened or whatever. Turns out she was like the fiance of her brother, but like was all salty. She didn't get asked to be a bridesmaid when she chose her bridesmaid, which was like the year before, and they'd been dating for 3 months. And she was like, why would I ask you to be in my bridal party when my brother's literally been dating you for like 2 months or whatever? And then caused this whole big scene at the rehearsal dinner, made the bride cry. It was like all this stuff. Everybody was happy that day, thank goodness. Yeah, I literally thought, I was like, oh my gosh, she's dead. She's like, no, she's not dead, don't worry. People be cray, let me tell you. All right, so we're just gonna go over that. I'm trying to figure out where I want, this is what I want to do. Okay, so we've got flat brush right here. And then this is the Makeup by Mario, the Ethereal Eyes palette. They don't make this palette anymore, sorry. But there's this like beautiful metallic chocolate brown here. That's really nice. I'm just gonna place that on the flat brush. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna work like up from the lash line here. And I did extend the liner a little bit past her lash line to kind of give that like elevated, kind of like elongated effect. I don't want to do anything too severe, but I do want that kind. When you're thinking about makeup, thinking about pictures, thinking about how she's going to look from far away, how she's going to look close up, and when you're thinking about like shaping the face with makeup, and like I said, eye contouring, right? And then kind of bringing that up, all up on the lid. I don't know if you can see. And then taking our fluffy brush, clean fluffy brush. Blending is going to be your best friend, honestly. You can do any kind of eye look. Make sure it's blended and just like kind of seamless. It's gonna look good. You know, that's just kind of how it goes. Like I said, I'm not the queen of eye looks. There are people who do really beautiful eye looks. You know, skin and details are kind of what I specialize in, but I do love a good smoke. It seems like you can wear it too, so that's great.
What does it mean, skin and detail?
So I love to focus, that's what I like to focus on. So I like to focus on the skin, like I like to make the skin pop kind of, and then like the details. So brows, lashes, lips, like that's kind of that's my personal philosophy, because I have really deep set eyes and I can do this beautiful like thing on my eyelid, and then as soon as I open my eyes, you can't see it. So like, I don't really do a lot of eye looks on myself. I do have brides who love eye looks, you know, so there's that, but and that's what like kind of what lends to my personal philosophy of saying that my pressure okay? Sorry, I meant to ask you. Okay. That's also good too. Just check in. My very first day of beauty school, makeup school, my instructor literally dug her brush into my eye, and I like started to tear up, and I didn't have the heart to like say anything because I was like a new student, but I'm like, just don't do that. Just try and be mindful of your touch, of like how you're touching the face, how you're applying eyeshadow, how you're just applying, sometimes you're in a hurry and you just gotta like slap it, like, do a little slapdash or whatever. But if you don't have to do that, don't. And I just always ask. I think it's because of what I went through.
Trauma.
Yeah, the trauma, exactly. And feel like it's kind of like not blended up here, but I'm just grabbing the brush and softening it. Right there. That's really nice. And I want to do a little bit more warmth in her crease. So I'm going to take this right here on a fluffy brush. And that's the thing about smoky eye. You can just kind of, there we go. You can build. Use your words. What am I looking for? And a warm crease, honestly, like you can't ever go wrong with any kind of eye look. If you keep the crease like a nice warm brown, whether you're fair skin to deep skin, finding like for deeper skin, you'd have to find something maybe with a little bit more red in it, a little bit warmer. But a warm crease, like that'll just kind of like round out the eye look.
You mean like a lighter brown?
Like in the crease, as far as if you could use like this kind of brown or that kind of brown, or just like see how that's more cool toned. I always like kind of I tend to go a little bit more warm, but not a rule of thumb, just like something I like to do. All right, we're almost done with this, I promise. Blending out. How's it looking? Good. Yeah? Okay, good. Thanks. You guys are my extra eyes because I'm super close, like up close. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll step back like way far, like especially if I'm doing brows or anything really, skin, because I want to see how other people are going to see it. Because if you're up close to it, like you can lose a little of like what it actually looks like. And I'm a little trapped right here. So, all right, we're going to take, what do I want to use? Actually, let's do this. This is bronze from Sisley. It's just like, it's like a liquid kind of eyeshadow. So I'm going to take that. And then I might, I'm going to mix it with copper. Just because, yeah. Even though that's copper, does that look copper to you? Right? That doesn't look copper. It looks like cool tone. I think they misnamed that, but anyway. I'm going to grab another brush and just tap. And then later, we're going to do a little glitter on top.
What is your philosophy of mature skin and glitter and shimmers?
My philosophy with that is, honestly, if somebody wants to do it, I say let's do it. Because makeup is all about how you feel. And I don't really believe that there are rules as far as that goes. I think I've had grandmothers sit in my chair. They're like, put the glitter on me, honey. And I'm like, great. And they love it. It's like it's all about how you're going to make somebody feel. And I've had so many women sit in my chair, mature women who are like, so I've been told I can't wear this, I can't wear that. And I'm like, by who? It's like, do you want to wear this? Like, what color is your dress? What do you want to do? Like, I want to do some shimmer. Great. Let's do some shimmer. Like, screw it, right? Like, So in that sense, like obviously you have to, if you have someone who has a really, really heavy eye, I actually had that this weekend with the mother of the bride. She had a really heavy lid, like that. So what I did is I contoured out here on the outer third, and then I brought the shimmer all the way up, which I guess you can say is kind of dated, but like when her eyes are open, I can't put anything on her lid because you won't see any of it. Yeah. So bringing the shimmer up here all the way up, it wasn't glitter, it was just shimmer, but it gave her eyes like light, and it kind of brought, and I actually kind of surprised myself. I was like, let me just try this and see what happens. And I did it, and I was like, this works. Okay. And she loved it. So it was like, she even said, she's like, I have really heavy lids and I feel like I can't do this, I can't do that. And then we did a little tight line underneath, like in the water line, right on under the top lash line, which I know it's a polarizing topic. People like, you shouldn't do that. It's not good for your eyes, blah, blah, blah. But
It looks good though.
it does look good.
Do
And to each his own, right? Yeah.
I do it every day with my
Yeah, right. Like, so, I mean, I did a video about this on my YouTube, and it got a lot of responses, and there's people who are like, I've literally been doing this for 40 years, and I wear contacts, and like I can see just fine. It's fine, right? So I mean, it's all a choice, right? And like these are all ophthalmologist tested anyway. Like they're safe to use on the eyes. Where's my sharpener? I'm just gonna do a little bit of black on the lash line. Sorry, I know this is taking forever. If I wasn't talking, probably wouldn't take as long, but sanitizing again. What percentage of alcohol do you guys use?
99.
Okay, yeah, that's what I have too, so.
99 just right.
It does, yeah. Okay. Right on the lash line, because I'm noticing that there isn't enough of a gradient. I want a little bit more of a gradient. And this is just to deepen the lash line, essentially. That's it.
What colors are you using?
This is from Wonder Skin. This is just a black liner. Yeah. I think it's a gel formula. Yeah. I went to Germany and picked up some pencils because the pencils in Germany, I guess, are some of the best in the world. I literally just learned this. I've been doing makeup forever. And I didn't pick up a black. I don't really use black a lot, honestly. I use brown. But she has really dark lashes. And again, I wanted to just kind of lend that little bit of darkness. Just gonna go over it with, this is what happens too. You have a myriad of like choices and you can't make a decision. Like, which one do I want to use? I'm gonna take, this one right here. Just gonna go over it. Keeping everything soft. Open for me? All right. Curl her. Do you want to curl your lashes? Sure. Okay. I like to ask too, because sometimes they can really get in there. Get a good
I
trim.
probably get in more.
Yeah. Eyes aren't done, but this is.
I don't know if I do it wrong.
I doubt it.
Especially,
Yeah.
I like crimp my lashes.
Do you use like false lashes?
I was going to, yeah. I was gonna put a few on. She has really amazing lashes, but I'm gonna do a few. Do you have any lash glue? Because the lash glue I have, so I always carry a latex-free lash glue just in case someone has an allergy to latex. But the Duo adhesive, the one in the tube, is like the OG. It really is, in my opinion. This one's good, but when you're in a hurry and you're trying to put lashes on quickly, it's not always the best. And I learned, that's great, thank you, yes. I learned that this weekend, actually. So I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That's why I don't carry only this glue in my kit. Like I always use Duo because it's just better and easier. We're gonna do mascara. I like to do mascara first. I have these little wands. They're from Artist Kit Company. They're really great. You can use just like regular spoolies too. But they had
better. Like it we get in the lashes.
Yeah, these are really good. It really separates. Another thing I like to share. Thank you so much. Is these are they're actually from Amazon. I know Amazon's polarized. Sorry, I still order from there. But they're like these little, they're like toothpicks, I guess, but they're good for like combing through the lashes. So if you have any clumpy lashes, these are great. I have a friend who does macro work. She does like a lot of lash work in New York, like L'Oreal. And she posted some of her work, and I was like, all right, how do you do this? Because please. And she was like, get these, and you can get a pack of like 100 or like 200 for like $5, and I just keep them, and it's just good to have to comb through brows or whatever. So they're just like little toothpicks. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, like you can like use them.
Yeah, I use them.
Yeah, exactly, right? But they work for lashes too, and for makeup. So, but I do also have, like I used for the brows, I have these as well. This is like my little toolkit right here. I love this. I'll go over this in a sec. I bought this is Max Factor. This is the False Lash Effect. This is their waterproof. I bought this in Germany. I love Max Factor mascara, and I wish we could. I know, it's so sad. It's the best mascara. Like for, drugstore or whatever. Like L'Oreal, Maybelline, they're all great, but I don't know. There's just something about Max Factor that I love.
Is it working for like straight lashes and like help it grow?
I mean, for waterproof, this would probably work. Yes, I know. I know. And like you can curl and curl and curl and curl and curl, and then they just go. Yeah, right. It's the worst. Sorry.
Have you used like the telescopic one?
Yeah, I have. My favorite from L'Oreal is the Lash Paradise. Oh my God, you guys, you should see these lashes. Stop
Is
it.
it telescopic kind of like that one?
Kind of like what? Sorry.
Like this one?
Oh gosh.
Oh my God, your lashes are so good.
I mean, right?
Look, they make it look great.
Thank you. Are we on a time crunch?
No.
Okay.
Take a look. She's got
I should have asked originally. Like, oh, sorry. Okay.
She's got her thumb like on the
Oh, yes.
eyelid, and she's brushing the lashes onto her thumb. So you don't end up with like a mascara on the lid, and then you're like correcting and fixing the reapplying eyeshadow.
Or you can do
use
this
a
too.
pad, you can use a sponge, you can use your thumb, but it really helps that you're not getting mascara everywhere and then spending your time fixing mistakes.
I used to have a Tweezerman eyelash guard that was silicone, and it walked away. I don't know where it went. It's gone, and it was like this little black, and I could just nestle it right on the lash line and do the lashes, do mascara, and it was perfect. And it's gone, and I almost lost it so many times, and then I recovered it. It was like, okay, always got to make sure I have this. And then one day, I guess I was just running out, and I didn't check to see. In the next job, I was like, wait, where's my lash guard? And then it's gone. So, but it really does help. I know someone I've worked with, a makeup artist who uses. Should have gotten this ready first. She'll use the paper, like from the lash, like she'll rip it off and then use that as a guard. I've done that before too. That's really helpful. But and look down, and then note to Tweezerman, make your silicone, but they discontinued it. Make your silicone lash guard again, please. Thank you. Because
Can't buy it.
you can't find it on the internet. You can't. Yeah, and they have
Probably like $100 on it.
yeah, right. I haven't even looked, but it could be counterfeit. You never know. I don't trust anybody. But I'm just kind of wiggling. She's steady as a. It's really fun when you have someone who's like, "Can I get a wing liner?" And they're like this. It's like, "Do you want to look drunk? Because that's not going to work. Sorry." Or when someone's like, "Can I get a really smoky eye?" And their eyes are literally this big. I'm like, "Oh God, I'm just going to make your eyes look smaller than they already are. Please don't make me do that." I'm just actually going to take another mascara wand because I just love these so much. Artist Kit Company. He's based out of New York. He's got some really good like depotting stuff for the kit. And also there was a sale to buy 5 of these for like the price of 3 or something. So I bought 5. These are great. I don't have to use these.
So he's if you haven't heard of Artist Kit Company, like follow them on social media. He started during the pandemic.
Yeah.
When a lot of makeup artists like you couldn't work because everybody was staying at home. So everybody was like downsizing their kits so that rather than having these big kits with full products, not everybody, I'm gonna say everybody isn't like my social media understanding.
Thank you, Steve.
Everybody was spending time like downsizing their kids and making their kids smaller, so like we weren't back.
Yeah.
So he created a lot of products like detox.
I don't know.
Smaller
He's like
amounts with
he's
you,
like
and then kind of like
all the time. He's so nice.
the fun part with his account is that he started out anonymously. So the owner of the company's name is Van. He's an immigrant from
Vietnam, I think?
Vietnam.
Yeah.
And talks a lot about his like origin story, about coming to this country with his family, growing up really poor, and then running this company and it blowing up. And now he's got like almost more than he can handle, and he only works for himself. He doesn't have any employees, but his business has grown and now has a studio. He has a studio for artists in New York, or if you want to go and do a photo shoot or you need somewhere to like bring your client to, he has a space you can rent. And like he's just become like a person in the industry that I kind of like admire and look up to. And he's hilarious. So like if you send him like on his website, he used to only do sales on Saturdays. I don't know if that's the case or not.
No, it's not. You can do it. You can do it any day.
Anytime.
Thank
So it
goodness.
used to be like, you go to the website, you have to put in your credentials, you get a password. You get a password, you can shop only on Saturdays, and then wait for the next few days, like shipping it out. So people would message him on Instagram, be like, why can't I buy anything? What's the password? And be like, you make one of them, post it, be like, nobody's reading, like, 2 rules that I have on the website.
Yeah.
And then.
Because people don't do that. They don't read.
Nobody reads that instructions, right? Like, but that became like his branding.
It did, yeah.
And then he got a cat, and the artist kit company cat, and the cat's name is Cat, and he like
is the cat's name Cat?
That's
so funny.
And he now sells like stickers of the cat, and he'll like skateboard down his bag and use the cat like in his bag, and like as much as I love him and his artistry and his products, I'm like, the cat is like,
He's also like Nigel's now.
yes. He's at Nigel's, he's at Maine.
Is he?
He's at Friends is carrying him now. Yeah.
Also, someone else that's a small business. Someone else that's a small business that is carried at Nigel's is Lip Loofah. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, you're sorry. What?
Someone else who's at Nigel's who is a small business. Her name is Stephanie. Shout out to Stephanie. This is Lip Loofah.
Yes.
This is amazing. She's a small business. It's basically a little like you put it on your finger and it helps to take off lipstick. It's great if you're on jobs, if you have to do like quick lip changes. It's great for any kind of bold lip, and it tastes really good too. So it's like, it's not like, or you can put if you use a wipe, it kind of leaves that chemically kind of taste, and it moisturizes and hydrates. And it exfoliates too. These are really great. So shout out to Stephanie. But I'm just these are just these 3D foam inks individuals right here. I'm just putting these on. Lauren, right? She's like, don't say the wrong name. And then she's like, it's not my name. Get it right. And I'm having her look down. People do close. Sometimes it's better if people close because they blink a lot, but I recommend if you can, if someone's steady enough, have them look down, because sometimes the glue can like adhere to the bottom lash line if they have their eyes closed or whatever. And then another really great Tweezerman tool are these. See how they're angled like that? Yeah, they're just, and you can kind of nestle them right into the lash line. I was using regular tweezers and then I got these and I was like, oh, these are great. And this is what I use to apply lashes. And then I just have a little bit of glue on the back of my hand. Something I do like to do as well is I customize lash looks, like just for my brides. If they want me to do it for everybody, it's definitely going to be like a fee because it's a lot of work. But I kind of listen to the bride and see, and I mean, a bride they don't always have like a specific kind of look that, they're like, I want shorts here and longs, like they don't really know, but they're like, can you make me look fluttery? Can you make me look feline? It's like, then if you feel like when they use those key words, you can kind of think about, all right, if they want that really kind of effortless flutter, maybe alternating shorts and longs, which is what I'm going to do. And then also just looking and seeing like where they're like, she has natural holes like in her lash line, that kind of thing. For my brides, I always do individuals unless she's just bent on having a strip, which doesn't really happen, to be honest. individuals just tend to be a little more comfortable to wear. And I'll do individuals on like mother of the bride, mother of the groom, and sometimes the maid of honor, depending on who I'm doing. If I'm doing everybody, and you'll know, like you'll figure out as far as how fast you work. I remember when I first got into bridal, there was an artist in Chicago who's still a badass. Her name's Shannon O'Brien, and she does like luxury bridal. And I remember I wanted to assist her, and I saw her at my job, and I was like, I knew her husband. I was like, "Hi, how can I assist you? Like, I really want to work with you." And she was like, "Can you do a full face with lashes in 30 minutes?" And I was like, I can get there. She was like, "Okay, if you can do that, you can work with me." And I was like, "All right." One thing about bridal, people hate on it. It makes you fast. It makes you quick on your feet. It makes you, you like, because it's a busy day, and you got to do like sometimes you got to do a full glam in 30 minutes. Obviously, we're not doing that right today, but and sometimes you'll run into problems like the skin. Sometimes the skin will like slough off, or the eye look won't, or you have to, it's just you got to be quick. And as soon as I was able to confidently say, I think I messaged her actually that week. I was like, "I want to work with you. I can do this." And she was like, "All right, let's do it." So makes you fast, makes you quick. And like you said, it's someone over here said that that's where you're going to make your money. A lot of times.
30 minutes though, you need to trust your product.
Yeah.
You need to have a good technique down.
Thank you.
It's like tried and true.
This is why she's the instructor.
You need to know like what works, what doesn't work. Like have your when you're doing your facial and you have like your routine and your system, and I call it like your like choreography of like your facial massage and your cleansing techniques. It's the same with makeup. Like you do the same techniques on every face, but with different colors or different shapes and have them look different. But you need to know what works and not have any trial and error things that day. You just like do what works and get it done. And unlike today, much less chit chat.
Yeah, sorry.
People want to touch and ask questions and what are you using and what is this? And like that is not the day to sell products or have a conversation. It's like I have 30 minutes with you, like let me just get your makeup done and I can show you what I used or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, knowing your products, trusting your products. And a lot of times that's just, if you have other jobs, that's why like testing is great too. You can try products out when you're testing, because then you can kind of see what works. She was asking me like what technique is good for lashes. I mean, you can see like they look like her lashes. It just it works. Sometimes if you have someone who has more mature skin, you're going to have to lift that skin first and then kind of stick it in there. And you're inevitably going to I have kind of a philosophy where like, even though this didn't happen with you, one eye, everything's great. And the other eye is like the problem child where like nothing sticks and everything looks crooked. And then like a lot of times with individuals, I see that these are really working on her, but you could put a few on, step back and kind of see where they're laying and then go back and forth. And as you do lashes, you'll get better at them. I'm going to go in with just a few of these just to fill in her gaps. These are the, not free flares, the shorts from Ardell. And actually my glue is drying, so I'm going to wipe that off and put some new glue on. But yeah, like how I said, knowing that this is the best brow glue. Like, it's gonna, like, when you put down the lash, it's not gonna slide. It's not gonna, because you can work so hard to get something down, and then like someone will open their eye and it'll just go, and it's like great, and then you got to fix it. But okay, I'm just putting these little ones. So this is what I did. Sorry, I have these that I put kind of like spaced on her lashes, and then I'm doing these like pretty like natural ones in between. So it's going to create kind of this fluttery. It's just going to add to what she already has basically. And a lot of times that's what brides want. They want like their lashes but better, or more fluttery or whatever. And like I said, she's super steady, so she's able to just look down And after this, it's gonna go much quicker, I promise. The eyes are always take the longest, especially in the trial too, so. And sometimes what I'll also do after I finish lashes is I will go over with mascara a little bit too, even though I've done mascara already. I've tried it where I do lashes first before I do mascara, and I don't particularly like that, but I know some people do like that. Which is a hole right there that we just filled in. Perfect. All personal preference, and that's the thing. Like, you'll figure out what works for you the more you do it. And things will change. Like, I don't do the same thing that I did even last year with some things. You know, some things I've kind of adopted that are, you know, that work for me, but I love to keep learning. I love to keep growing. And one of the things I also love is like working with other artists. It's calling me. That's spam. Anyone else get spam calls every day? Every day I get them, even though I'm on like 8 million do not call lists. But it seems like there's always a new one. All right. Thanks for bearing with me, guys.
Trends change too, right? Like everything is different. Like even makeup that was popular in December is not like what brides are doing over summer or into the spring and then now into the summer and then what's going to happen into the fall. So like, I ask a lot of my photographers, like, they're not going to be able to tell you technically what they see, but I'll say like, do you see a lot of brides wearing a lot of makeup? Do you see it looking kind of like natural? Do you see like a lot of pink lips? Do you see a lot of like, and sometimes they'll kind of tell you because your photographers, if you can befriend them on a bridal day, they'll say to you like, put more blush on her, make her look a little darker. Hey, come look at this. Something's off. They won't tell you why it's off, but they'll say something's off. And you'll like know that you need to give more contour or give more definition or whatever it is. And if you're a working makeup artist, like the same with hair, like befriend the hair person, because they'll help you out too. Like if something's looking weird or somebody's unhappy but they don't want to tell you, which happens like every once in a while. You've got eyes and ears like all over a big event like that.
Also, befriending a photographer, great networking. Wedding planner and photographer, those are the two friends you want to make because those are the people you're going to talk to. And if they love you and they love your work, they're going to refer you. Word of mouth is, as we know, it's everything. I mean, someone asks me for hair, she's the first person I call, always. Because I love her, I know her, she does great work, and she's great. So it's like, then like how you were saying, you're welcome. Like how you were saying about, sorry, let me work and talk, sorry. Still working on that. How you were saying, I forget what I was saying, so I'm just gonna.
Oh, working with photographers.
Yeah, so, but it's relationships. It's even relationships with your clients, the people in your chair. A bride loves you or a client loves you, they're gonna tell 5 of their friends about you. Look down. Just going over, these lashes look so good. And it's honestly, I just added to what she had. Open. Yeah. She has beautiful lashes. I'm just gonna take this off. Ooh, just get to skin. Ooh. There we go. Is that okay? Huh. Okay. Hands. And then I just want to make sure that everything is clean underneath her eyes. So I have a little, this is Bioderma I have in here. And then on a Q-tip, I like these little flat, these are called ITs. You can get these at Nigel's too, or on Amazon. I love the flat side because you can clean up if you need to. We're gonna do a little bit of stuff underneath her eyes too, but just wanna. And then you can also clean up that. Yep. Right there, and kind of sharpen that and make it. There we go. I feel like I'm breathing on you. Okay.
You're okay.
Always conscious of it, because when you have someone in your chair, doesn't have good breath. They're
Your
like,
breath doesn't stink. You're good.
thank you. But you know, like, but and then yours doesn't either. But like, it's like something that I'm always conscious of because when it happens to me, I'm always like, okay, I mean, not be offensive. All right, we're gonna do a little more. Yeah, we're gonna do more moisturizer because I just feel like we need it, and it's always good. Really quick, if I was prepping for an actual day, I would probably use at this point a setting spray because we already have some skincare on. We have the eyes. It would be almost to like set the eyes, if that makes any sense. And what this does, it creates a really thin layer on the skin, which will help with oil. It will help with keeping it like helping it last all day. Excuse me. So you can use setting spray to prep as well if you want. Sorry, I'm like not showing any of these.
Is it like a dewy or a matte?
This is, I wouldn't really ever use a dewy on a wedding day unless even though she told me she's she's dry. You're thinking about longevity. If you're not staying with your bride all day, even if you are, you don't want to be touching her every 5 minutes because she doesn't want you in her face every 5 minutes because she's focusing on her day, right? So this is I would do not necessarily a mattifying, but I got the big guns here. This is the Krylon fixing spray. And then I also have the one size. I love you, Patrick. This I feel like was because of this. So like this crawled so this could walk kind of thing. Yeah. So, but the aerosols, they're aggressive, but man, they lock it in.
Is it, you think because they're very fine?
I think so. And then also just like what's in them. Because I mean, like, I think is this what Blue Man uses? I think this is what they use. And they like spray it all over the Krylon. I might be wrong, but Charlotte Tilbury has a really nice setting spray too. The Milk Prep and I think it's like Prep and Prime. Like you can use it as a primer and as a setting. They have a dewy and they have a matte. I would lean more towards matte. I don't even really like kind of. You'll see like as you like go through like these are like the ones that work for me. Krylon and one size. Like these are like the tried and trues.
The one size one is really good.
It is.
I've tried those.
It's really good. Yeah. And like, you've seen that test that he does where he'll go like into the water and then like his bead is still perfect when he comes out of the water. Like it's amazing. So
He just came out with a glossy one too.
I've heard about that. I really want to try it.
Yeah.
And then I've also heard, has anyone tried that matte? I don't really love primers. I actually hate primers, to be honest.
Why is that?
Oh, this is the moisturizer.
No, why is that?
Oh, why is that?
Because I use a primer because I think like I don't know why.
And honestly, I think it's personal preference.
Yeah.
They add an extra layer that I don't want to compete with. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. I'd rather use skincare and a setting spray to add that really light layer of like insurance.
Is it for gripping?
And
is that what
it can be, yeah. Like the I know the Milk one is like that's called the Hydro Grip Primer, but I've also noticed I've used that and makeup sticks to it, but like not in a good way. Like
I
sometimes
it pills.
Yes.
Okay.
That too.
Like,
Sorry, Milk, not trying to.
Maybe because it's silicone.
Yeah, that can be it too. And then, if you're using like a water-based moisturizer, then you have a silicone primer. It's like things don't mix. And I don't want to deal with that when I'm like trying to get everybody done. Even when I'm just doing a client, like I don't want to be like, so I have to take your makeup off and start over. She's gonna be like, why? Like, because that does happen sometimes, but a lot of times you'll know within the first couple, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna like take that off and we're gonna start over and we're just gonna keep talking. And half the time they don't know, but you don't want to get into doing the whole face and then you step back and you're like, this looks awful. Like, what's wrong? Oh, or whatever. Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit. I have this is the Anastasia Impeccable Foundation. This I mix in for longevity. This is really great. It's more of a matte foundation. It is a higher coverage, but you can use a high coverage formula and not have it look like it's painted on. There's, I'll show you like a technique that I do. And then I'm mixing it with the Armani Luminous Silk, which I think will definitely lend and help with, because I would have normally probably used more of this. I tend to mix these two because it's like you get the glow from the luminous silk, but then you get the staying power of the Anastasia. A lot of times what will happen is you'll hardly ever use one foundation. And even if you use the same foundation, you'll probably use more than one shade because hardly anybody is just one shade. So this is shade 5, which is a little,
I have more cool tone.
yeah. This is actually, let me see. 5.5 is a little more cool, but that might be a little dark. So we'll just use a little bit of that, and then we're going to take, this is a 0CR from Anastasia. I'm just going to grab a little of that. And then I just like to take, we're just going to go all together and see what we get. I did kind of match her, you know, like where we're at as far as like the family, if that makes any sense. Okay. So I'm just gonna grab, this is my It Cosmetics brush, fluffy brush. I love this brush. And I'm gonna tap a bunch and kind of like work it into the brush. I tend to do this on the back of my hand too. People have said, oh, that's wasting product. And I'm like, it can be a waste of product, but also I'm making sure that I know what this is gonna do when it goes on her face. Because if you just kind of go into product and go on the face, a lot of times you have way too much product. And then you're trying to like overcompensate for the amount of product you have. So I like to start light and then build up the product in the bristles. So then you're getting, so where I'm like a lighter coverage at first, and then just gonna tap in. We do have a little bit, there's a little bit of, we're having a little bit of texture on the face. We know about that already, so we're gonna work with it. I'm not gonna pull or do anything like that. I'm just gonna tap in, and this,
It's mostly my chin.
yeah, okay. I did notice that, but I was like, I feel like the rest of the face is. And then she's a little warmer down here, so I matched her to her neck more. I mean, not her neck, her chest, sorry.
Summer now, we got
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I recommend as far as you can match to the face, because sometimes you'll have that floating head effect where the face is lighter than the rest of the body. And when you're thinking about if she has a dress on, her 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be up here. If it is, then you don't really have to worry about it. Like you can make her as tan or as whatever she wants, and then, you know, match the hands. But if you have an open collar or an open neckline, you're going to want to like create like cohesiveness, if that makes any sense. Thank you. Sometimes that's what happens. You got to mix 3 foundations to make what you need, because who wants to carry 80 foundations? Nobody, right? Like even if they're depotted. I have a ton with me actually right now, because it was like sometimes you don't know what to expect if you have, you know, you're working on a global range of shades, you definitely want to have a global range in your kit. So yeah, just tapping in. This is also going to kind of lend to it being really flawless.
What do you think about sponges?
Sponges are great. The only thing is
Can't use
that
them on.
that's the thing. Like I love beauty blenders, but I only use them once. You know, I don't.
They're expensive.
And they're expensive. Yeah, exactly. So, but a lot of times I do use them on brides. Just depends. But you can also achieve whatever you want to achieve with brushes too, I think. And then also in the vein of talking about having a global kit, one of the things I tell everybody about is this Face Atelier Olive Adjuster. You'll notice, I don't know if you have noticed, but go into stores, medium to deep olive shades are like an anomaly. You cannot find them. So it's like South Asian tones, like that kind of thing. If you're thinking about like who, like what this demographic is,
Orange.
it's all orange or red. Like a lot of brands, their deeper skin tones are either orange or they're red, or it's like, and a lot of times you need the olive to put a little bit of that green in there. This has saved me so many times on set when I'm trying to match someone and it just looks too pink or it just looks off. Or if you're trying to neutralize the red too, this is good too. But having it, like, I just have that adjuster. I do have some correctors as well in my kit, and that's all stuff that you can learn just by practicing and, you know, color theory, all that stuff. Sometimes you'll have someone in your chair who is like red undertone here and like olive or neutral undertone here. So what do? I always try to just like split the difference so then it looks cohesive. Unless they have something that, you know, if they have a shade that they love to wear that they feel comfortable in, I'm like, great. And that's with anybody really. I had a bride who literally, do you remember the Dior Air Flash, the spray? She was like 4 shades too light and really pink. And like she did it and then came back and I was like, okay, like, don't send me pictures, thanks. But she loved it. Like she was happy. So
do not tag me.
Yeah, it was just like, sometimes that happens. You just gotta, I don't have any ego about that stuff. I'd rather have her be happy. But a lot of times that's something that she kind of sprung on me too, because the trial, we didn't do that. And then she was like, oh, for the day, can I use my air flash? And I was like, sure. And then she came back from the bathroom and I was like, okay. And then I had another bride who had like tadpole eyebrows, like the big fat, and then like the swoop. And she used to do her brows herself. And she did her brows herself for the wedding day. Like I did everything. And then she did, and she loved it. She was like over the moon. I'm like, great. Not my vibe, but she was happy. You know, sometimes it's all about like letting go of that creative license and making sure that you're servicing the bride or servicing your client. How does this look?
Good.
Yeah? Okay. Good. All right. Let me get to it. We're going to use a little more of that concealer that I used on her eyelids. Then I'll mix it. This is, I don't know what shade that is because the label came off. And then this is DTLA. I love these concealers, the Tower 28 concealers, in my opinion. Well, probably like the clean version of the NARS cream. Really, really good. Really good if you have someone who's mature because it doesn't fall into fine lines when you set it. I wear it every day. I love it. I'm taking the other end of the IT Cosmetics brush. We could do like corrector and all that stuff, but the less layers you're doing, the better. Trust me. For longevity, for your own peace of mind, for everything. But like she doesn't even really need it. Look at that. The thing I love about this concealer is it's medium coverage, like medium to full, I guess you could say. You could build it up. But like I said, it really resists creasing. Plus you have like no creases because you're 19 and super young. All right, so before that like sets, I'm gonna grab my powder puff. These are great. You can get them on Amazon. This is the Pat McGrath Sublime Skin loose powder that they discontinued, and it's my favorite thing ever, and I'm really upset about it.
Does it come in a bowl?
It doesn't. This is the little bowl that I have. It has a little top, but this is great because I use this. This is what I was looking for earlier. I use this because you can sanitize it between people because it's plastic. So you can use it. And then what I was doing was I was putting powder on paper towels and then it was like getting all over me and just making a big old mess. And this kind of just it keeps it. So we're going to load up our puff and then I like to tap it. And then we're going to do just a little bit of baby baking because we have to for a wedding day. And the thing about this Pat McGrath powder is that it sets and it does not crease.
So how would you recommend going about setting concealer in your dry skin?
Let me do your concealer on your other eye. This is a really hydrating powder. So I would say use something that is hydrating if you want to use powder. You don't have to. It's totally up to you. I'm definitely going to use powder
For wedding day.
Yeah.
But even just, I feel like my concealer, I use the Glossier concealer,
Mm-hmm.
and it usually slips off, even though it's hydrating.
Really?
It's just because, like, at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
it's so hydrating, it's not,
Mm-hmm.
it's like kind of oily. And it just kind of slips. So I tend to want to set it, but I don't.
This is a little yellow, but there's a point, trust me. We're gonna brush this off, and then I'm gonna go over it with, there we go. There we go. Straight ahead. So she's set, and she's hopefully not going to crease. And then what I can also do is go in with a little bit, like I have the Kosas pink powder too. Just do a little bit of that. We'll do that later. So moving on to, so skin's good. I'm gonna just fill in her brows a little bit with, let me see, look at me. No, she doesn't really need much, honestly. Got such great brows. Nice and full. So sometimes I do this first, sometimes I do it after, just depends. But I just want to take just a little bit right here in the front. Which is where mostly everyone needs just a little bit.
So we had Jordan here from Anastasia last week. So you guys should be brow professionals.
Oh yeah. I wish I could have come. Jeez.
I think he's gonna come back again another time. So
Yeah. And just like, what's the word? Drop in.
Be in the corner taking notes.
Yeah, right. Seen, not heard, but like, has that ever been me? Probably not. Let's be honest. And then filling in right there. Actually, I should. And the thing with brows, sisters, not twins. The bane of my existence. I can literally spend 25 minutes on brows trying to perfect them, at least my own. And then sometimes it's just like, you just got to step away. Oh, I see. This is the good one. This is the red conceptual. Always. Yep. And then sometimes even.
Yeah, this one has a higher arch
Mm-hmm.
in the beginning though, which is tricky too.
Yeah.
It goes like this, and this one's flat.
Mm-hmm. Still got great brows.
any questions? Remember wait?
Yeah, right. And that's early. I'm gonna take a little glitter, mix these two. Close.
Right, use your finger, not a brush.
Just because you can press the glitter in and it kind of gives that, and you get less fallout. Plus, it just gives like yeah.
When you try using the shimmers with a brush, you'll find that you don't get as much of like an impact of the application payoff, and it's different consistency than like the less shimmery ones. And I find that like no matter how much of that extra you take off of the brush, you will get fallout. So I know like Charlotte Tilbury, when she came out with her shimmer palettes, her big thing with education was like use your fingers, use your fingers, use your fingers, use your fingers.
This is the light medium bronzing serum from Makeup by Mario. This is really great. I recommend this to like everybody because it's very forgiving because of how sheer it is. Again, working it in to the brush right here. And you can see I loaded up the brush so it's nice and even. And then just gonna tap. Because her skin's on the drier side, I'm gonna work with mostly creams. You can put cream on top of powder. And then foundation brush is kind of like our little buffer. That. This is light medium, so I'm using it pretty sparingly because she's still fair, but we wanna turn right on the cheekbone. But this is like when the makeup starts to come to life, I think. little on the top of the forehead.
In your Canvas shell today for week 7, which is today, there is a worksheet illustrating contouring on different face shapes. So how Jordan last week talked about like the golden ratio of like the thirds, and then the ideal face shape being like an oval. Those illustrations will show you like where to contour a face to kind of like create that oval looking face. I would love for you guys to incorporate that in your makeup application today, and I'll put up on the board later. So it's a lot of shading like around forehead and through like your cheekbones, how you through the cheekbones, maybe like potentially like under the jaw. Like the old school technique is like a 3 in your application, which still works if you ask me. So play around with that a little bit today. And you can contour with darker foundation tones in your kit, or I have other options up here if you want to use some like more creams than liquids.
Yeah. Bronze. Oh, sorry. What?
With her big fluffy brush technique with foundation, do you think that might be a better application than you guys have been doing with like the foundation brushes? I know like some people have been having like trouble with the liquid mud ones, having it like apply too much too soon. Like I know a couple students that like when I walk by, like it is really on there, and I'm like, okay, you need to like use less and blend better. So maybe using like a fluffier brush and like pressing it in that way might be a better technique with the type of product you guys have in your kits. Yeah, you want to try today?
So what I just did was buffing out this edge, softening this right here. I just did a little bit of concealer around her nose because I was noticing that I missed that when I did her foundation. And then I'm just taking the crease colors that I used on her upper. And then that's how you kind of create like a cohesive smoky eye. Do you line inside?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to do it? You want to do it?
Either way, you can do it.
Okay. We're gonna line inside the waterline, which.
I always do it because my eyes are big, so they can like handle
They
it.
can.
And I like the underneath my lashes.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when I do it.
Oh, and then and I did the bronzing. Okay, I'm just trying to remember what I did tell you while she was, or what I was doing while she was talking. All right, let's do up in the waterline. So this is one thing that if you need to practice. I still get nervous sometimes doing it on clients. But I remember like one of the things I was also really nervous about was doing red lips. And the only way to get, like, to not be nervous is to do it and to just keep doing it and look up.
And screw it up. So you learn not to not screw it up the next time. So you guys have these like great kits now, and I know you still have hours to complete on the floor. You guys are welcome to do makeup applications on each other. I don't think it's one of our services we offer to guests. But you're welcome to do that. Like bring your kids, work sanitarily, have them out. If you are an SD and you want to offer like a little brow definition when somebody gets a facial or something before they walk out, like add it on. And the same with like cosmetics. You're doing somebody's hair. Hey, can I give you a little makeup touch up before you head out? If they're going from here to the grocery store, like to pick up kids or whatever their life is, like if they have extra time, they're in your chair and they're like, ask them. When I was in like a big teen salon, I was with a Veda, and one of their things is like, before everybody leaves, you give them a lip, a brow, and a little bronzer. Because if somebody changes their hair color, they're gonna need a new cheek and a new lip because of like color theory. Our esthetician like sold brow pencils like lollipops. Like she did a brow, she used the brow pencil on them, and then she'd sell it to them at the desk. And like, you never want to sell, but like in order to keep the look that they're getting, they need the tools you can use.
And ask you,
So like practice, recommend, practice, recommend.
You can
And then when they come
Some
back,
people are
they're
like,
oh yeah, I
spider
did
eyes,
what
so I
you did.
love spider eyes.
Just have you like do your feet all
At least pilot.
So keep using the kits that you have, keep them clean, keep up on your disposables, and then you have plenty of like willing and able people that come in to get services done and like practice the red lip, practice the brows. Like they're already here, and if you screw up, you're a student, so what's the good hurt? You just wash them off.
So I'm just doing lower lash mascara because Lauren loves it and I do too. She's got these great lashes. I don't always do it, especially for longevity. If the bride is like a crier or whatever, I don't always do it. I'll do like definition on the lower lash line, like how I did, but I won't always do mascara. Just depends. But she loves that and I love it too because she has these like big wide open eyes. Like
I won't cry.
and she won't cry. So there you go. They say that though. They usually always do. Not always, but I always make sure that I use, because they're like, oh, I don't need waterproof mascara. I'm not going to cry. I'm like, I'm going to put waterproof mascara on you because it's just a long day. You know, like you don't want to see a smudge in the pictures and be like, why didn't I use waterproof or whatever. So, all right, let's do a lip and then we'll finish the cheek and then I'm finally done. Sorry guys. Hope everyone's still with me. What do you normally like to wear for a lip? Did you say like neutral, rosy?
Sure.
Okay.
I usually do like what color is that? Like a dark purple, but that's not really color.
Okay. Can we like split the difference? Like a pinky, like mauve-y?
Anything.
Okay, perfect.
I'm willing to try.
Okay, great.
Yasmina just asked me what you had on your hand to rest your face.
Puff.
So like in here, I have these giant ones. Or today I have like these little guys. If you want to use one of these, you just put it on your finger, loop it around, and rather than resting your hand on someone's face, which like if you've already done all this work you don't want to do, you just use the puff and then you can like rest your hand on something so you're not floating around. If you don't want to rest your hand on someone's face, you can also like use your other hand to steady your hand, but you never want to like be touching something if you've already like adjusted it.
So I'm just doing a little overdraw on the Cupid's bow, and as you can see, I'm using the puff to set, like to hold, so I can keep my hand steady. This is also something I do when I do like a bold lip or a red lip. This is kind of what I taught myself because the thing that I was struggling with was keeping it steady and keeping everything straight. So just taking that, it's not going to mess up the makeup, and it gives you an anchor.
That's the word.
Yeah. And this is in Fill Me In. These are the Tower 20. I stand for this brand. I love it. Not sponsored. I love them. It's a local brand. Amy Lou is the founder. She lives in the Palisades. She did not lose her home, thankfully. And I'm just going to do a light little fill in. Mostly keep the middle a little light. It's a clean brand. It's one of the only brands. I love their tinted sunscreen. It's approved by the National Eczema Association. Yeah. Oh my God, their tinted sunscreen.
So I saw you using those. I was like, oh, this
is awesome. And then, like I said, this concealer I love. I have their powders, like the pressed powders, right here. Everything's clean, talc free, and they perform. And the mascaras are great too. The brown mascara in Drift, it's called Drift. One of my favorite brown mascara. It like made me love brown mascara because I used to hate brown mascara. Now I just need it in waterproof so I can use it on my brides. Because I'm still using black, which is fine, but I love like a brown lash. It's really soft, especially for bridal, but can't always do that. All right, what am I looking for? Where's my Armani?
So you look like Katy Perry.
Thank you. I'm in space.
Your eyes are like.
They're like fierce.
Yeah.
Getting married.
Yeah. She's getting married.
I would cry if I was getting
My
married.
favorite is I'm 19. That was like my favorite response ever.
No, because
I'm
I
19.
cannot believe myself. I was like, no, I'm proud of myself for not doing that.
This is Armani 104 Lip Power. I'm pretty sure this is going to look good, but sometimes you put it on and you just have to see. That's the thing about makeup, especially with lips. Oh, that's pretty. Is you just have to put it on and see. Unless you've worked with something 8 million times and you know exactly, but even then sometimes it can surprise you because lighting, because of how like the person's undertone, could be anything. I'm just gonna take a little bit of, no. I want this, that's what I want. There we go, scraping. This is Tom Ford Blush Nude. I just want like a little bit of, like right in here. Just a little. And so what I like to do, I'll do lips first a lot of the times because I like to then see how the face looks because I did like the contouring and the bronzing. And we're going to powder just in just a second. But I like to see what the lip looks like first, and then I finish the face. Because especially with a bold lip, you do a face, like say you do cheek and bronzer and highlighter, and then you put the red lip on, and it just looks way, it's too much. So what I like to do is I kind of work backwards. I do the lip first, and then I finish the face. And then I feel like that gives you more of an idea of kind of creating like harmony, if that makes any sense. So let's take Deep Throat by NARS. Love this.
It's a pretty color.
And it's a pretty color, right? Like it's freaking gorgeous. And I love the name so much. So funny. Again, tapping. And another like kind of thing that I like to do, personal philosophy, is I match the tone of my lip to the tone of my cheek. So like how she has more of a warm tone cheek, I'm doing a warm tone lip, I'm doing a warm tone cheek. You don't have to do that. It's like a little blush right there. But
What do you typically do for the nose? Do you just blush it and leave it, or do
just a little bit, yeah. You have a really beautiful nose. If you were like, hey, I want nose contour,
Yeah.
I don't think you need it. But if you wanted that, I would do that. Absolutely. That's pretty much it. I just tend to keep them up. Sorry. Sometimes that happens too, a little bit. Highlighter. This is the Violette Balm Shine. I don't know if you guys know Violette. She's kind of like, she's on YouTube. She's a French makeup artist. She does these things where she's very Parisian and she like walks into these cafes and just sits down and orders a latte and then does her makeup and like meets her friends and lives this fabulous New York life, you know? But
nice.
She's awesome and she's back on YouTube and she has a makeup brand, and this highlighter is really pretty. Just like,
She also has a lip product that is meant to mimic your lips after you've like kissed someone. So it's very sort of like faded and cloudy. It's not like definitive. And the colors are just like, I think there's a whole range of colors now. But she calls it like her French kiss lipstick. So it looks like you would put on red lipstick, kiss someone, and then it's like what's left over on your lips afterwards. And they feel really velvety, soft, and like I think it's just like I think it's a cute idea. Like the marketing is really great, but her products are beautiful. She also has like a matte red liquid lipstick, which I know was really popular like a while ago. It does not move. I wore it once, I think, on like an 8-hour day on set, and like ate, drank, talked. It would look the same as it did at 6 a.m. that it did at 8 p.m. And I was like, I'm sold.
I want that.
So this is my walking Instagram filter tip. This is a highlighter, luminizer from Sephora. Sephora brand, don't sleep on it. Most of it's made in Italy. It's really good. People are kind of like, their powders especially, their baked powders are made in Italy. Gorgeous. Highlighters are gorgeous. This is in the shade Rose Quartz. But do you see how that just kind of blurred everything on her face? and it just kind of brings everything together. I'm gonna get a little bit of powder on, actually let's do powder puff, which is on here. These are a little shiny here.
Are you using the pink powder?
A little bit mixed with the Pat McGrath.
As far as mixing products, I always get confused. Is there any rules to follow? Nothing?
It's one of those things where you'll learn what works for you. Yeah. And then there's a lot here. The thing with this, like with covering, certain things, you can't cover texture. You can cover discoloration. So, and like with her skin being drier, that's why we were kind of pressing everything in, working with the texture of her skin, so then we can still like create a flawless look. How's that?
Really cool.
Hey, that's it. Are you gonna take this off? Okay, I'm gonna set her because she's not gonna take it off.
It's 9:20. Go ahead and take a 10-minute break, stretch, grab a coffee.
Never mind.
Partner up and set up. You guys are gonna have 45 minutes each to do your makeup starting at 9:30. So I'll put a timeline on the board. But if you want to start setting up like early, you can. But we'll start doing makeup at 9:30, 9:35. Okay?
So this is finished look.
Thank you. Want to take a photo?
Yeah. Sure. Also, here, let me show you. Let me, yeah, but I was gonna say also. I wanted you to see it. Do you want to see it?
Yeah. Oh my god. Whoa.
That's what you want. That's exactly what you want.
Because I'm only looking in here,
Yeah.
which is not the same. Whoa. That's crazy.
Is the eye good?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. Let's maybe do here because the lighting's good. I'm just gonna stop these lives. Thanks for watching.
Like, you lost suspension today.